And so with that, if you want, we can go ahead and start. And I've already kind of introduced the two of you, but is there anything that you'd like to add?
No, let's just go on to the next slide. All right, so why do people get a doctorate in educational leadership and policy studies? They do it for a variety of reasons. They can go on to specialize in research. They may be interested in institutional assessments, and that could be, we're going to talk a lot, we're going to say it over and over again. We run the gamut from K through 16. Other universities call it pre-K through 20, but the idea is that we are interested in the full spectrum of educational issues from the time you can crawl to the time that you're a grown-up. And so institutional assessment covers both ends of that spectrum. We, of course, talk about policy analysis as an education policy. Institutional leadership, whether that's leading a school district or leading a university or a community college. Student affairs, so housing, student success. There's a lot of those of you who work in student affairs already know, but there's just a lot of different opportunities to lead within student affairs. And then finally, the professoriate. If you're interested in doing what we do, then you need this degree. Okay, next slide. So again, our program challenges that idea that separate K-12 into one bucket and higher ed into another bucket. We believe that it's important to focus on the full spectrum and especially looking at the transitions that happen when we switch levels, whether that's moving from 5th grade to 6th grade, in middle school, moving from 8th to 9th grade, from middle school to high school, 9th grade into college. And then we even study differences between moving from an undergraduate degree to a graduate degree. And since the pandemic has started, we've also looked at transitions within the careers more closely to look at the different challenges entailed there. We focus on studying factors in transitions. Whoops, go back. Okay. Okay, sorry. We focus on studying factors and transitions within the educational experience, but we put this focus on student success throughout the pipeline. We explore how leadership, policy, and research can help students of all ages and to achieve their fullest potential. Our program has 10 core courses plus 6 electives and then dissertation hours. In the content core that in your first year, you will take Introduction to Doctoral Studies, and that's really to get you oriented in what the expectations for you are. Dr. Zhang is teaching that this semester. She spends a lot of time answering questions. Definitely we hear from the librarians. You get to meet professors in the program. They come to visit the class. So there's a lot of visitors that come to the class. The next semester, you take K-16 Law and Policy and Organizational and Leadership Theory. And that one, Dr. Zhang, we take that in the summer, right?
Sorry, which one? The first qual?
Organizational Leadership Theory.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So those are examples of some of those core classes. Of course, you take research classes to teach you about both qualitative and quantitative types of research. And then when you're with me in Law and Policy, you learn about how to conduct policy analysis, which can be either qualitative or quantitative, but it's kind of a little island on its own. We plan to admit between 5 to 10 students as a cohort. We really believe in the cohort model because you get to know your group of people and you become a great support structure for each other. We've had 16 cohorts to date, and so this will be for cohort 17. We are a face-to-face program. We have been online largely since the pandemic started, although this semester, our second and third year students have kind of come back to class, but we've been modifying and offering alternative arrangements for the last year because of COVID. But I anticipate that next year, which will really be a full year from now, we'll probably be back in person. That said, even prior to the pandemic, we do offer some flexibility in that, in terms of we don't meet every single week. We typically have a couple of classes a semester that are either online and or small group meetings. We do have primarily a part-time program, but we have full-time options. So all students will take 2 required courses in the first 5 terms. So that's 2 courses in fall 2022, 2 courses in spring 2023. That first summer, you have 2 required courses. So that's for summer 2023. That's the first 3. And then you'll have 2 more in fall, 2 more in spring. And after that, you have choices regarding when and how you take your electives. The core courses are offered on Mondays and Thursdays from 5:30 till about 8:30. Now that just depends on who your professor is. I'm nicer, we finish earlier, but it really, and of course it depends on the week and how busy we are, and how much conversation we need to have. So that's Monday and Thursday, and then electives are typically offered on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. So what that means is if you want to go full-time, then what you're looking for are electives that match your area of interest, that you can still be taking required courses and take an elective either on the Tuesday or the Wednesday night. So that's intentionally designed to allow you to take more than just the 2 required courses per term. Okay. We have an annual Research Day event. It used to just be our department, but we're expanding to offer it to the entire College of Education beginning this school year. So we're excited to do that. It gives you the opportunity to see your professors present on their research. We'll be able to see curriculum and instruction researchers present, which is a whole giant ocean of opportunity there, because you'll get to see, for example, bilingual professors talk about their research, science, math. I mean, there's just a little bit of everything in CNI. It's a huge field. And of course, definitely connected to some of your research interests as well. We also conduct Research and Policy Center events. Dr. Zhang and I are both co-directors of the Center for Research, Policy, and Practice. And we have a variety of activities where you can meet people in the field, hear from researchers in different universities, all kinds of opportunities there. We do offer study abroad opportunities, and I don't know the schedule on that. The last time we offered it, it was spring of 2020, and they were actually almost stuck in Europe since that happened right at the same time that the pandemic started. So I believe we'll have to ask Dr. Tobolowski if she is going to be doing that again next year. But hopefully within the time that you're enrolled, you'll have that option. And then we also have the governance course elective when the state legislature is in session for a normal session. In the spring, we offer that class for students to be able to go to Austin and meet with legislative officials. And in the past, we've offered it and gone to Washington. I don't know if that's in the immediate future for us. We do have the opportunity to help you apply for an Archer Fellowship, which grants you, in which you get a fellowship opportunity in the summer to work in, whether it's a legislator's office or at a national organization in DC for the summer. So that's a great opportunity. We typically have 1 or 2 students go every year to Washington. Okay. Our faculty, of course, they're not all here tonight, but I encourage you to spend a lot of time on the website looking at their profiles and reading about their research. So you see Dr. Carrie Ausbrooks, Dr. Jennifer Bailey, Dr. Marilee Bresciani-Ludwig, Dr. Elsa Camargo. There's me in a really bad picture, overexposed. Dr. Erica Rowland. Okay, and then we have Dr. Barbara Tobolowski, Dr. Maria Traque, and Dr. Zhang. So I encourage you to spend time looking at those profiles, because in your letter, we really want to know who you're interested in conducting research with, because that's part of what we're looking for in admissions decisions is, will we be able to support your research interests? Tuition. This is what the university has published for the average tuition and fees for this current year. And we've got some links for you there on the screen, and then Monique can further assist you with tuition questions. Financial aid. It's tough for graduate students to get financial aid. We are always forwarding opportunities to apply for grants. Typically when you move into graduate work, and especially at the doctoral level, the way that you get financing is through a grant that is specific to a particular topic. And so that is the kind of opportunity that we forward to you. We have a variety of research assistantships, and the pay is not great on those. And if, you know, we're constantly working to have greater opportunities in that area. But that said, there are some opportunities for financial aid. We do offer a UTA College of Education scholarship, and perhaps Monique knows how much it is for.
Oh goodness, I don't know off the top of my head, but I can look it up. And what's really nice about UTA is they have a website called Mav Scholar Shop. They're kind of being funny, we'll play on words there, but you can actually go to Mav Scholar Shop and you can browse all of the university's scholarships and you can apply for them in one place. And so even if there's opportunities beyond the College of Education, it's a really, really nice resource.
This is Carla. I actually looked at it this week, and it's at $1,000.
Okay, thank you, Carla. Appreciate that. Yeah, so it's not big. It's not big.
It's one of those things where funding is, you know, I tell students, and, you know, I've been on the staff side for a good moment, but I always tell students, you just kind of have to chip away at it. And I always tell students also, in addition to that, if you're having, you know, financial issues, talk to someone. You know, talk to a recruiter, talk to your advisor, talk to your program director, because we do know that there's many opportunities, but you do have to find them. And sometimes we don't know about every single opportunity, but what we do is we kind of get together behind the scenes and we put our heads together. And so if you're having trouble a particular semester, you're looking for opportunities, let us know, and let us at least try to dig in and help you find the good opportunities. So that was a really good question. And thank you, Carla, for sharing that.
All right. To apply, you fill out the application on applytexas.org. We need letters of reference. And I don't think we've updated those letters of reference. We need to get them updated so that they're fillable PDFs. And so bear with us on that.
I think they are.
They are updated? Okay, thank goodness. Yeah, they were not user-friendly, and that's one of those things that hopefully the pandemic has forced us to get updated. We do need transcripts from your previous institutions. We asked for, we say CV here, but that could be a resume if you don't have any research experience to list in a CV format. So you can consider that CV and or resume. And don't worry, if you don't know what a CV means, just write down resume. That's okay too. You'll learn what a CV is as part of the program. And then the statement of interest. This is the real key here. We really need to know what you want to study. And don't worry about making your topic sound like you don't need to know the exact formal names for your research topic. But again, we're interested in knowing which scholar you want to study with and what topics within that you want to pursue. And it doesn't mean that you can't change your mind, but for us to best support you, having a research interest that's consistent with one of our professors would greatly help.
And I think it will be helpful if you can talk about, how this degree is going to contribute to your career. How do you plan to spend your time in this program? I think those things will help us to better understand your purpose of, joining us because it is a lot of investment in terms of time, energy, money. So we want to make sure this is the best program for you, for your needs.
Yeah, because a lot of times we get applicants that actually would fit better in a different program. And, we don't want to accept you if we think it would not help you. And often we may say, oh, this person needs this kind of program or that kind of program. So that's where, as Dr. Zhang pointed out, it really helps us to know what you plan to do with it. We do have an early application deadline and a final deadline, so you can meet either one of those deadlines for your application.
Can I add one more thing about the deadline? I think it would be better if you're ready to, then just submit. Don't wait until the final deadline. If you're ready to submit, by the early deadline, do that. So, then if you're still looking for grants, for funding opportunities, and then I think we will have more time to work with you on those issues, on the other demands that you may have.
Yeah, and depending on the number of applicants that we receive, and any questions we may have, we will very likely be conducting interviews this year as well that allow us to ask you additional questions about your research interests. Okay, and so questions, we got a list of people for you on this slide. So I don't know if y'all mentioned this at the beginning, but Dr. Zhang and I are paired in that she has the higher education research experience, and then I'm really more of a K-12 person, although I'm dabbling in higher ed these days. So those of you if you have a research interest on the higher education side, then Dr. Zhang is probably your best contact, and then I can really answer a lot of questions about K-12 research. But that said, we're happy to help whoever comes our way. So don't hesitate to reach out to either one of us. Berhani Delikio is the graduate advisor. Oh, I'm so sorry. Her name is not corrected on this slide. I've got the right email address, but it says Courtney Jones on the name. That's so funny. But that's how you spell her first name, Berhani, and then Delikio. The best admissions questions email address, though, is that elpsadvising@uta.edu. And it will very likely be answered by Berhani. But she has support in her office. They cross-train with each other, so each graduate advisor represents a different program, but then there's always a second and or a third person in case somebody's out sick or something. Okay, so let's hear some questions.